brief introduction, please.
I'm a resident of Wilmington. My wife, Brenda, and I got married here in Wilmington. She's been working in the school district as a counselor for about 15 years or so. We put our 4 daughters through the public schools here in town. All of them have graduated. And I served on the board from 2000 to 2008. And during that time frame, we built a new school, and very proud of that. And I'm looking to run again for a variety of reasons, and I'm guessing you want to hear about those later rather than now, right?
We'll get to that.
I'm Terry Anderson. Again, I'm a lifelong resident of Wilmington myself. Work for a local company, Breezer Construction, around here. Kind of stay here close to town. My parents have been big in the community and into the church and stuff around here, and I kind of feel I want to be doing my duty around here myself. So I think I'm kind of well known a little bit. I try to do my best as far as helping my kids out. They're a couple boys and a girl went through the system here, and very proud of them. So I just like to say hi. There you go.
My name's Jen Matters. I didn't grow up here, but I grew up down the street in Bourbonnais, and I grew up coming up here, hanging out at the dam and eating at the Oasis, we decided the name of it was. I'm the local youth librarian. I deal with 18 and under at the library, and I do a lot of outreach in the schools. I'm in most of the school buildings on a regular basis, and I'm just looking, and I was a teacher in my last life. I've taught high school and college English, and I'm looking to be an ear for the teachers and the parents and the kids.
Okay, hi everybody, my name is Van Holman. I'm a lifelong resident of Wilmington myself. I have 3 children in the Wilmington School District at this time. I spent the last 8 years on the St. Rose School Board, and I'm currently on the school board looking to be re-elected to the position I filled last year when there was a vacancy. And I've learned a lot, and I really enjoy being a member of the Board of Education, and look forward to another 4 years to help develop and move us forward, you know, with basically lots of things that we got to get accomplished, but the number 1 priority is the kids, and making it right for them. So, thanks.
William Welch. I've been resident of Wilmington for 24 years. 20 of those years I've been on the school board. The last 10 years I've served as president of the school board. I'm very proud to have served on the Wilmington School Board. My son graduated from Wilmington. My grandkids are currently in Wilmington High School. I'm proud of what the school district has accomplished in the last 10 years, and I'm looking forward to what we can accomplish in the next 4 years. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. First question I'll take from the audience is a very basic one. And we'll start with William on this end, and we'll work in reverse order. Why do you want to serve on the school board?
I want to work on the school board basically because I want to have a good, safe environment for the students, and that's basically the reason I'm on the school board, is for the students. You know, there could be a whole lot of other reasons, you know, because I don't like this, I don't like that, but my main reason to be on the school board is for the students.
Okay, excuse me, I'll echo that, but I'll also add that, again, I think we got to make it right. I see a lot of positive things that the school board's doing. It's a very serious matter, running a school district. You know, it's something you don't take lightly, and I'm a giver, I'm a giver backer. I like to be a part of, you know, solution rather than problem. So I'm all in, and I'd like to continue to do that for the residents of the school district.
I found myself already with someone who interacts a lot with the parents and the teachers and the students on a regular basis, hearing some of the things they'd like to change and some of the things that work well and some of the things they love, and I sort of felt like maybe I should put myself in a position to be able to do something about it. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Honestly, I really don't have any agendas to do this. I've always felt that my kids went through it and had a great experience, I'm telling you. I was very happy. I personally went to St. Rose when I was young, and had a lot of people wondering why my kids went to Wilmington schools, to tell you the truth. But you know what? They enjoyed it. They graduated with very good grades. They went on to college. The two boys, I should say. My daughter's still in high school. My biggest thing is I want to give back. I mean, my kids were in the sports in town and at the Island playing baseball. I felt the same way then. Hey, you know what? Don't be one of the parents that wants to stand out there and complain about it. Go there and try to help out. And I'm trying to do that right now too. I don't want to. I have no complaints. Listen to me. I didn't mean it that way. I don't have any complaints. I just want to be part of. I just want to be part of it. I want to give back to the community, to you guys, and if I can help with my experiences in my life and making decisions on the board, so be it. That's my goal.
So I similarly have those kind of noble aspirations, and found when I ran for the school board and was elected back in 2000, that was my focus as well. And I think it still is, but to me the reason why I'm running once again, having left in 2008, kind of felt like I had served and provided that service to the community. Sitting in the background, it was kind of one of those things, you can take the boy off the school board, but you can't take the school board out of the boy. I would read the newspaper and kind of follow what was happening in the schools, and certainly a lot of pride in what the district does. But my first experience was unsettling, and that was when I started seeing some disparity in what was being communicated about compensation. Some zero salary increases for the teachers, with descriptions of hard times, and then seeing significant raises for administrators. And so that caught my eye, and actually went about trying to communicate to the school board some of my findings, and felt like when I went to do that in a very positive way to try and seek understanding, I was met with kind of less than a receptive welcome in going before the board. And that was disappointing to me. And so I kind of took it upon myself to create a website to bring facts to the community. And not to be a judgmental or opinion-based site, but just to bring data and facts out there for the residents to see. And I was kind of content doing that. But then there was an incident recently where I saw a little disparity in one of the newspaper articles about kind of support for different programs in the school. There was I think an offering of 3 different groups or clubs before the board, and I noticed there was a resounding endorsement for a couple of them, but a neutral stance for another one of the clubs, and that kind of caught my attention as well. And I think that was the tipping point for me, where I felt like there was not only a lack of equity in kind of compensation, but perhaps even equity in the way that students were afforded opportunities within the district. And so I thought, you know what, rather than sit back and just be miserable about this, that I could contribute by running for the board and try and bring about that change. And in that, I think that it comes down to 3 kind of key things. One is about equity with the compensation for the entire staff, and most importantly, equity in how we treat our students and the opportunities they're afforded. I think there's an issue with transparency that's important to me, and I want to bring that to the board. I think that I also want to create a board environment where people feel welcome and desire to be at board meetings and not kind of dismissed or not there. We're here to represent the community, and I think the most important thing is to hear your voice. And when a community person comes in front of the board, that should be a welcome thing, not a thing where you're issued ultimatums about how long you can speak and kind of dismissed and not even really asked any questions. So those are kind of my motives, Wes, for that.
Okay, thank you. This next question is kind of a hot button topic right now, and at this time I'll go to Van as the first respondent. How can we improve our achievement test scores?
How can we improve our achievement test scores? I would say that we need to prepare properly. We need to understand the new achievement scoring standards. Obviously, it's brand new this year, and I think there's still a learning curve on that for the entire school board and the administration as well. And obviously, it's all in preparation. And that's about it.
looking at it from a different angle, I think we need to explain to the students why the tests are important. Because I think a lot of times they look at it as being a waste of time or taking out of class, and if they can understand why the tests exist, maybe they'd be motivated to work more towards it.
Very good points. I like both. I also think there's I really hate to say this because I don't want to point any fingers, but I want to make sure that the kids are getting the right. Talking to my son, a lot of these new tests are computer-based, and it's way different than all of us here ever had with tests and things. And having the knowledge going into it of compute, it's the computers. All the kids are great on phones. I understand that, but making sure we have enough computers, having enough of the Wi-Fi. I've heard rumors about the Wi-Fi at the school. They need to make sure that all those facilities are up to date. Everybody, my computer at home is 3 years old and it's out of date. I mean, it happens that fast. So we really need to make sure, along with what everybody said here, we need to make sure that the equipment that the kids have is there for them to use. If they need to get on Wikipedia or whatever, hey, let's make sure that the computers in the labs work so that they can get them. If they, I really like up north they got the iPads for the kids. I think that's awesome. I don't know that I don't know that we have the money. That's part of why I want to be involved here. But yeah, let's make sure that not only with the knowledge that the teachers are up to date on their knowledge. Let's make sure that they've gotten all the I hate to say reports, but if they need to go to seminars to learn more about these tests. All of us, my wife included, we don't know 100% about these tests, and you can't really get mad at everybody here until you understand what they're about and what they're doing and for the future of our children. So I don't want to keep talking. So
keep talking. Good points here. So yeah, and I'm gonna also agree. I think they're all really good points that I've heard so far, and I would add to the technology area that fundamentally you've got to have technology that works. I mean, if teachers are spending their time producing lessons and investing in the technology, and they go to deliver that, execute on that, and it doesn't work, we're not spending time on the right things. So fundamentally, get the technology in place and make sure that it's working. But then I think we really need to extend and look at how we're using that technology. It's one thing to have it, but how do you really use it to augment what you're delivering in the classroom is important. I think there's been a lot of advances, and thanks to people like the Gates Foundation and others who kind of started paving the way. And then the other thing I'll add that I haven't heard is I think we need to focus on getting the right classroom size. I know that we've had struggles with budgets, but I think that we're kind of making the classrooms too large for many students, and that's not going to help us in achieving our desired test scores.
I think our test scores in some areas have improved, and there are some areas that the test scores need improvement, and we've addressed that by improving the curriculum. We need a more rigorous curriculum. I don't think we need to concentrate so much on the tests as we do the curriculum for the students. Otherwise, because teaching to the test isn't going to do any good. So you need to improve the curriculum. We've aligned the curriculum to try and get the students to be better in the areas we need them to be in. So that's what we need to do, is improve the curriculum.
All right, thank you. This question, we'll start with Jen. Do you feel it would be important to have accelerated courses for children in the lower grades?
I think it would depend on what age level you're starting with. But my concern with the younger grades is if we start teaching to the test already, or we start focusing on making the academics so high for the younger kids, we're taking away the chance for them to be a kid. Yes, they need to learn their math and their science and their reading, but I've heard some of the teachers say that the kids get 15 minutes for recess and that's all they get to really move around, especially in the winter. And it'd be good for them to get a chance to play as part of it, learning how to socialize and learning how to interact with other people and learning how to take turns are just as important as reading and writing.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but I'm all about the accelerated classes. I think if your kid is capable of doing it, or borderline doing it, absolutely. A B or a C in an accelerated class, I do. I believe that they should be they should be at the younger levels. That's how you get better, is being, I hate to say pushed, but that's it. That's how I've done it at home. My kids, and you get told, hey, you know what, I don't expect you to get a B. I want to see an A, and that's it. And if it's the accelerated classes, I don't want to be really mean about it, because I don't want to say that every kid is made for it. I personally was never made for college. I couldn't do it. There's no way. And there are certain kids, I suppose, that probably don't want to be in the accelerated classes, but that should be a parent's choice. I think there should be, the option should be there for them to be in an accelerated class. So I hope that answered your question.
So I think if the resources are available, it's absolutely essential. I think the worst thing you can do is put a student in an environment where they're bored. And the tragedy of our education system is that we take 25, 30 kids and put them in a room, and we kind of teach to the mean of those students, the average. Which means some students kind of are going to feel like they're struggling to keep up, and some students are going to be bored, things they're already aware of. And I think if we can provide opportunities to kind of accommodate as many of those student groupings as we can, we'll all be better off. And I think that will contribute even to the improvement in test scores. You'll see that kind of continue to rise as they go up through our school system.
I think it's important to have accelerated curriculum in the lower grades, because the studies say that by third grade you've learned your study habits. So the more accelerated you can be in the younger years, but so by the time you get to third grade, you have some study habits to take you on the rest of your career. So yeah, I think we should have some accelerated classes in the lower grades.
I also agree with what everybody has said. Obviously, you have to challenge the individual if you want them to flourish. And obviously, I've seen it when I was in lower levels of grade school. There are kids that are, the same age, but they're at different levels mentally. So it would be a shame to me if you left those kids behind with the rest of the group just to suffice. So I agree with it.
Great, thank you. With this question, we will start with Terry, and this could be as simple as a yes or no question.
I like that.
Break for a minute. Research has shown that extending the school year improves student performance. Would you favor a move?
Well, I'm going to probably get yelled at from the little blonde in the back row, but yeah, no, I don't think they should extend the school year. I'm very big on, like you said earlier, the kids still got to be kids. I'll be honest, I get kind of a little worked up right now with baseball and football and whatever else that every kid gets into right now. They don't get a summer like I had. Van's the same age as me. We used to go play baseball in the side yard. Dude, that's awesome. I like it. I want the kids to be able to do, have the friends, ride the bikes, and if they went to school year-round, I know they still get breaks, but it's not quite the same. And having a summer, that's part of their childhood. You should have that.
So I have mixed feelings about this, and while I long for those days of my youth as well and want them for all the kids, I think our society has changed quite a bit over the years. We've gone from an agrarian society where there was typically a family situation where there was somebody home during the summer, and through the progression of the years, we found that most of us have dual wage income earners in the house. People are working, and so maybe we should reevaluate where we are with this school year, and maybe it's not just a make it go through the year, but find a way to maybe put more time in the classroom and maybe accommodate families who have people who work, and the kids at home aren't having those same joyful times riding the bikes around, but they're left at a babysitter somewhere or some daycare. So I'd be open to it.
I probably wouldn't be open to it. I think the only reason you would want to is have a year-round school would be if you had a crowding issue, and we don't have a crowding issue. And the only other reason I could think is retention, because the kids lose a lot over the summer. But in a year-round school, you know, as I've seen, you know, they go so many weeks and they're off so many weeks, so you're going to have that retention problem anyway. So no, I don't think year-round school could be good.
I believe that it could work, but it would have to be a modified schedule. It wouldn't be 5 days a week. In my mind, it would be like maybe a 4-day-a-week schedule, or you get a 2-week break every month and a half or 2 months, something like that, where the kids do get time to be kids. You know, like I've heard before, the world has changed, but shame on us if we try to make our children adults while they're children. Obviously, we need to coach them and guide them and lead them in the right direction, but at the same time, we don't want to turn them into adults in grade school. Also, I think that they do need to retain. I mean, I struggle with my own kids during the summer. You know, yeah, we do all kinds of summer stuff in the summertime as a family. We're doing constant sports, everything we're going, and there's not a lot of time for even picking up a book, to read a book, to keep up on your education in the summertime. So you got to focus on that a little more. I'm for it, but it'd have to be modified schedule to work.
The former teacher in me cringes at the loss of that 8-week time period, but retention is a huge thing, because I feel like as a teacher every year we would spend the first 3 weeks reteaching stuff we know they were taught, or that we personally taught them the year before. And the way that most year-round schooling works, you get breaks regularly enough, and they're not 2 days, they're 2 weeks. So they get enough of a break, they still get a chance to go on vacations. You don't have to worry about finding daycare for 8-week time periods, so I would probably support it.
All right, thank you. I see nobody took me up on the yes or no. And the chance. Okay, we will start with Kevin on this question. And this refers to an article in Sunday's Tribune that I'm sorry I did not see, about consolidating administration across districts. Would you be in favor of such a measure, and what other cost-saving measures would you support that minimize impact to students?
So can I just say I'm just really grateful for the quantity of questions. I've been in 3 of these things now, and this is amazing. It's the first time I've gone around more than once, so thank you all for your questions. So, you know, it's funny, I've thought about that, you know, the value of, you look at us and could we consolidate Braidwood, Full City, and Wilmington into one centralized school district kind of administration, and could that work? And while it seems really attractive to me from a financial perspective, and it makes a lot of sense economically, what I really struggle with as I go through that in my head is actually having it work viably. I don't see us, we have such ownership of our schools, and such tremendous pride in what we have. I think that while from a business perspective it may make sense, to me it doesn't from an emotional perspective, from a feeling of, you know, pride in that school. So I don't know that I could say I'd be supportive of it. I'd be obviously open to hearing some thoughts about how it might work, because I think there is a lot of value in that, and certainly would address some of my concerns that I've, you know, expressed about how much we invest in administration versus time in the classroom. You know, other than that, I think I'd look at how we can try and reduce the amount of overhead that we have, and focus really on the directed education investment.
No, I wouldn't be in favor of sharing administration. I just don't think it'd work. I think it would be too hard for that person to oversee so much that's going on, and you're going to miss something. So I don't see that. And as far as, you know, cost savings, that's really hard. I haven't done this for so long. 75 to 80% of the budget is people. So if you're going to cost save, you're going to get rid of people. If we get rid of people, our class sizes are going to go up. And Kevin was just saying, we don't want that to happen. So I'm more in favor of looking for more revenue, which we've done real well on my time on the board, when we were getting $16,000 a year in federal impact aid money when I got on the board, and we got over $2 million of federal impact aid last year. So it's hard to cut out of the budget without affecting people and class size. I mean, that if you're going to cut, that's what's going to happen. You're going to have 30 kids in a classroom, and that's not going to work. So we can't, finding other ways of revenue is what and it'd be nice if we could get the state to fund things at the level that they were. We were getting $3.5 million from the state in 2008, and now we're down to $1.5 million a year from the state. So, so if we could just get people to fund things how they're supposed to, it would help. Thank you.
Okay. I think in a small community like Wilmington and Braidwood and Coal City, it might be an option that you might consider, but I really don't feel it will work either. I think there's a lot to be said about, taking care of your own house. So I guess I don't think it would work. I wouldn't be opposed to looking into it though.
I feel like everything I had to say was already said. Just looking at what everybody said during the introductions here, everyone's here to give back to the community. And they're showing pride, and this is a town very proud of who we are, so I can't see trying to share something as important as the school system with other cities. I don't see it working.
I don't see it work either at all. And bottom line is you're going to try and save money, and before it was over, you'd have to have the administrative president over here, and then each and every other school would have an assistant president or something, and before long, you'd still have 10 people here, 10 people there, and 10 people there, all collecting money, doing the same jobs they're probably doing right now. So I don't see it really saving money in the long run, and what little it would be saving, I don't believe it'd be, go back to the taking care of your house, and it's local, you want to be able to go up. Everybody here wants to be here because they know us, or they want to talk to us, or they can grab us up in the hall and talk to us. You start moving out to different communities, and you get to bigger ones, and it'd be worse. I think people like to be able to come up and talk one-on-one with people that they somewhat know or kind of know personally. So I don't think it'd work.
Sorry, I was getting reorganized here with another question. I think we'll enter the 1-minute lightning round now. We've got just a couple of questions left. And in this one, we'll start with Bill. And full disclosure, my wife is a teacher. So I'm just going to present the question as I see it here on the card. What do you know about the new evaluation system in Illinois for teachers?
Well, we're working with the teachers right now and the union to get this para evaluation thing off the ground so that it's fair for the teachers and fair to the students. The whole thing is there's a trust issue. And, I mean, this wasn't even created by us. This was created by the state, and they said, "Here you go. You got to do this." And it wasn't put in place. Sometimes I think the teachers feel that it's put in place to punish them. It was put in place to make the learning better for the students. And that's where we have to get with the evaluation process. We have to get to that. We have to get everybody together. That the administration and the teachers have to have some trust with each other, and that's where it has to be, because the tool is to make the learning process better for the students. And sometimes I feel like the teachers think it's there to punish them, and that's not what it's for. It's to make the students better.
Good. I thought you were going to pull a new one out for me.
Lightning round. I hope I didn't go over the minute.
I agree with Bill. Obviously, it's something that's in the works, and something that's going to benefit the kids. That's what it's all about. Obviously, the teachers don't need to look at it as punishment, but I know what kind of what worked for my job too, so, and I think we all are. So, you know, we need to make sure that, that teachers are qualified and doing the best they can do to help our children.
I have a lot of feelings about evaluations as a former teacher. From what I've heard from teachers right now, I feel like there's a lack of clarity as to what the evaluation is. They get handed these huge packets of this is what the evaluation is going to be, now go. And there needs to be some more understanding for them as to what they're being evaluated on, what they're being evaluated for, not just their performance.
I'm not around school a lot, so I really don't know a lot about the evaluations, but the little bit that I do know is that they're being watched. You know what, I deal with that every day of the week at work. I do not feel there should be anything against having somebody make sure you're doing your job. It can be wrong at times if some classes out there are harder than others. Some kids are harder to teach than others. I would really want to see how the evaluations are based. If it is based on how you deal a one-on-one kid, if it's based on how you deal with the entire class, or if it's based on what your kids got for grades. It's easy to change them grades for your kids to make sure they get passed. Your evaluation could be great that way. I guess I would really want to know more about, I would want to see how they are being evaluated before I'd really want to give you an absolute answer on that.
And I'll also lead ignorant. I don't know a lot about the structure of the para evaluations. I think though, from my experience in kind of leading organizations for about 30 years, no matter what structure you're evaluating or assessing performance, the most important thing is consistency and how it's applied. Sound training about how you actually execute it, and then kind of making sure you communicate effectively all that you're doing to implement it and how it will be used. So consistency is key.
Okay, thank you very much. The last question. With new industry coming to Wilmington, how should the school benefit from this? I'm kind of paraphrasing the question. And we will start with Van.
Obviously, with new business coming to our town, or anywhere around our town in our taxing district, is going to benefit the school. We're going to have increased revenue. So there's opportunities there to do more things within your district. Obviously, get a computer in the classroom for every high school kid, all that. There's lots of things that are in the works, but they need to be funded. So that's what we're going to do, is reach out for those dollars and try to improve upon what we're doing for the education of our children.
My knee-jerk response was much smaller, as grants for the students and chances for them to get out and see how the industries work. I'm going to be real quick, I'm going to let you run here.
I'll be quick too. You know what? I believe our teachers need to be supported, whether it's by the facilities or by money. Like I said earlier, my kids, I was really happy with all the teachers that I've been around. They've done a great job. I'd like to see them rewarded a little bit more. I don't want to see them a dollar, but everybody knows what I mean. If the money's there, we need to take care of the teachers. The administration, facilities, even the janitors. I am an hourly wage worker. I want to see people taken care of. So
I think the easy answer here is just the resources from the tax base, as much as we can avoid giving that away through tips or other types of things that defer that income. And I think the other opportunity is, much like we did with Local 150, to try and build partnerships with as many of these industries to work together in the community and engage them in our district as effectively as we can.
I'm not sure what industry we're talking about, because all the industries that have come in lately either have had a TIF or have had their taxes reduced. So I'm not sure which industries we're talking about is going to bring us a windfall. So when the windfall comes, I'd like to see the money putting it in the education fund. But reach parts of TIF. I don't know where the money's coming from. I know the bills in the general dollar, but I don't think that's gonna generate a whole lot of money, but, once the money comes, I'd like to see it go in the education fund.
Hey, can I add something? Am I out of turn? You know what, and I was thinking about this when you just said that. Sometimes it isn't money. You know what, I'm a member of Local 150, and talking to them, I don't know how many people know this, but they have done a lot of work around the school and donated a lot of diesel fuel and equipment. And I'll tell you what, they've done it for us, so I've been part of it. I don't know how many know this about Van, but Van works for a big corporation. He got them to donate fall protection. Sounds silly, I know, to people, but you know what? That can be a big item for people involved in the school. You know, instead of paying to have the baseball field dug out, or the football field dug out, they donated equipment. Instead of having to go out and buy fall equipment for the program, they got it donated. So they can help out in other ways than money too, with the right.
Well, but they also pay, you guys on mobile and 150 is also paying taxes.
Oh yeah, no, I know, but
I'm talking about the tip.
I'm with you. Money's always great.
All right, so now the biggest challenge is deciding which of these five candidates you're going to vote for, because three of them are up for. We choose 3 out of the 5, but you got to appreciate every one of them for coming up here and doing their civil duty. Some of the other questions.